All right, so Google just released Opal, which is pretty amazing. You can go in and create these little mini apps that are almost like make.com workflows or N8N and things like that. So, kind of give you an example. I cloned a couple of these. So, you can create them from scratch by just telling it what you want to create, right? You can just put in, basic um, a prompt here. But then you can also remix apps that are already built. So, for instance, I had this business profiler, and I wanted to change it. I wanted to change the output. So, what you would do is put a business. It gives you the preview over here. You put a business name in or a website, and it will do some research around that business and summarize it and give you like this little simple output, right? So, pretty impressive, cool stuff. But what I started running into is that it would not do certain things for me because I would run out of some API limits. And it doesn't tell you what those limits are. But once you hit them, it won't do the search, it won't use the AI, it won't do any of the things that these apps can do. And that's pretty frustrating because I hadn't really done a lot of them. I was just playing around with the technology. So, what I decided to do is I wondered if I could take one of these. So this is an app I remixed from that business analyzer that I wanted to actually um, research a company and then give it insight into competitor news, right? And then ways that it can, ways that that company could pivot versus, based on competitor news. So it looked like it was going to do it, so it researched a little bit on Elevon, a company I used to work for, a subsidiary of US Bank, talked about what it was, their target customers, all that. But this is where it failed. It said due to API limitations, current news from the last 7 days couldn't be retrieved. So I wanted current news to give insights to somebody at this company on how they can pivot. So it just made up something, a hypothetical scenario, and then obviously these are hypothetical steps. So it's like that's not really what I was looking for. Now I believe this thing can do it, but right now it's in experimental stage and it's running out of these API limitations, which is pretty interesting. Now, if you follow me, I've been looking at other things under Google's AI Studio that I've been building. So I've been building a lot of different apps over here. And what I decided to do was go to each of these modules. So if you click into these, you can see exactly, what model it's using for each different step of this workflow. And I decided to just mimic that. So I went here and I copied off the title and the general overview of what it was. I copied what the input was from here, right? And I just kind of copy pasted that. Then I went to the second step. So I just put using Google Gemini's API, do these steps. So use those, the map and all those different types of things, right? And I just kind of copy and pasted and talked through what I saw in this workflow. Then went to the next part of the workflow and I dropped that in there and so forth and so on. And I got to the last part where it displays the report. And I said, then finally displays report as an interactive web page. So I basically went into that workflow and kind of copied over. I made some edits to make it make sense in this app. And I clicked submit and thought for 36 seconds, wrote the code, and came up with this really, really nice interface. Really quick, I dropped in elevon.com here as well and clicked analyze, and it kicked me out this really nice report. It's actually better formatted as well. It's got here the products and services from Elevon, target customers, competitor news, and it actually went to the last 7 days and highlighted that it was from the 19th through the 26th and kind of told me what was actually happening. So Shopify making some moves, all those various different types of things, right? So it actually went and analyzed that and then came back with some strategic insights, right? So this is exactly what I wanted, even cited its resources down here. So I can go through and click through those resources if I want to look at where it got that. So this is actually even better than what I was creating in Opal. But on top of that, now I actually have the code. Here you don't have the code. You have the workflow, but no code behind it. So what I plan to do is look at some of these other tools that they built within here, see what's interesting, see what I can do a spin-off of, because again, you can just prompt it and ask it what you want. It'll create the general workflow, and then you get an idea of what to give to the prompts to give to the LLMs and what their workflow might look like. And I can drop it in here and actually get that coded up for me. And I can really customize this as much as I want at this point. Gives me a lot more flexibility. So pretty cool. I love what Google's doing. A lot of cool stuff they're releasing and everything. But I think this is a nice little hack to build some a little more complex apps than I was building with AI Studio. These are more workflows that can be somewhat automate multiple steps. But if I can turn that into code and build it over here, then I actually have a little more control over it. I can actually um, host it on my own server in Google Cloud versus here. I can't really do that. I can share these, but I don't really have a lot of control over it. So just something I came across today. I just heard about this today, and I was doing some experimentation and decided to do a little spin. The people I've seen have been promoting this,